Have you ever pondered the true power and significance of prayer in seeking God's release? Prayer, a sacred act of communication with the divine, has been a cornerstone of spiritual practices across cultures and centuries. It's an intimate dialogue with the Creator, a bridge connecting the finite to the infinite, the temporal to the eternal. But what truly gives prayer its transformative power is not the words uttered, but the spirit behind those words. It's the faith, the sincerity, the yearning that fuels the prayer and makes it a potent tool for spiritual growth. Now let's talk about God's release. It's a concept that speaks to the profound liberation that comes from aligning oneself with the divine. This is not a physical release, but a spiritual one. It's the lifting of burdens, the dissolving of doubts, and the quieting of turmoil that often plague our hearts and minds. It's about finding that inner peace that surpasses all understanding, that radiant joy that's not contingent upon external circumstances. The power of prayer and God's release are intricately linked. Through prayer, we make ourselves open and receptive to God's release. We acknowledge our human limitations and surrender our burdens to the divine. This act of surrender is not an admission of defeat, but a bold declaration of trust in a higher power. There are numerous scriptures and religious texts that elucidate this connection. For instance, in the book of Philippians it's written, "Do not be anxious about anything, but in every situation by prayer and petition, with thanksgiving, present your requests to God." This verse underlines the importance of prayer in seeking God's release from anxieties and worries. Or consider the words from Psalms, "Cast your cares on the Lord and He will sustain you." Here the psalmist encourages us to surrender our concerns to God through prayer, assuring us of divine support and sustenance. Understanding the power of prayer and God's release is the first step towards a deeper spiritual journey. It's about recognizing our inherent human need for divine intervention and the potential of prayer to act as a conduit for that divine intervention. So let's delve deeper into this journey, exploring further the power and process of prayer and its impact on God's release. In the sacred texts of various religions, the importance of prayer and God's release is underscored time and time again. Let's take a journey through the pages of these texts. In the Christian Bible, for instance, the concept of God's release is often tied to prayer. In the book of James, chapter 5, verse 16, it's written, "The prayer of a righteous person is powerful and effective." This suggests that our prayers, when offered with sincerity and righteousness, can bring about God's release, His blessings, and His mercy. In the Islamic faith, the Quran speaks to the power of prayer as well. In Surah Baqarah, verse 186, God says, "When my servants ask about me, indeed I am near. I respond to the call of the caller when he calls upon me." This verse emphasizes that God is always close and ready to respond when we reach out to Him in prayer. The Hindu scriptures, the Vedas, also uphold the importance of prayer. In the Brihadaranyaka Upanishad, it is said that the self is realized by meditation, by knowledge, by the realization of the self, and by constant practice. Here the practice could be seen as a form of prayer, a conscious effort to connect with the divine, leading to liberation or release. In Buddhism, while the concept of a personal God does not exist, the act of meditation, which is akin to prayer, is seen as a path to enlightenment or release. The Dhammapada states, "Just as a fletcher straightens an arrow shaft, a wise person straightens their mind. So fickle and unsteady, so difficult to guard." These examples, though drawn from different religious traditions, all point to the same truth. Prayer, in its many forms, is a powerful tool in seeking God's release. It is a universal language, a bridge that connects humanity to the divine, opening up the path to liberation, enlightenment, and release. As we see, the scriptures speak volumes about the power of prayer in seeking God's release. Prayer is not merely a ritual, but a process of spiritual communication with the divine. It's an intimate act of faith, a silent conversation, a profound dialogue between the human spirit and the cosmic consciousness we often refer to as God. In this scene, we delve into the process of prayer and how it aids in seeking God's release. Imagine prayer as a bridge, one end anchored in our human experience, the other reaching out into the divine. To cross this bridge, we need the right mindset. Prayer isn't a shopping list of demands or a desperate plea thrown into the void. It's an affirmation of our faith, an acknowledgement of our need for guidance, and a humble request for God's intervention. The first step in the process of prayer is an inward journey. It's a moment of introspection, of quiet self-examination. We acknowledge our feelings, our fears, our hopes, and our desires. We lay them bare before our own consciousness, stripping away the layers of denial, pretense, and self-deception. This is the foundation of sincerity in prayer. Next comes the act of surrender. We acknowledge our limitations, our inability to control every aspect of our lives, and our need for divine intervention. This surrender isn't about giving up, but about letting go. It's about relinquishing our illusion of control and opening ourselves to the divine guidance and support. Faith, then, is the cornerstone of prayer. Faith that there is a divine power that hears our prayers, that cares about our struggles, and that has the ability to intervene in our lives in ways we cannot comprehend. This faith, combined with sincerity, forms the heart of our prayer. Finally, we express our prayer in words, in thoughts, or in feelings. We send it out like a message in a bottle, into the vast ocean of divine consciousness. We wait, in faith and patience, for the response. When we approach prayer with the right mindset and sincerity, we open ourselves to the possibility of God's release. We invite the divine into our lives, into our struggles, into our joys and sorrows. And in doing so, we find a deeper connection, a stronger faith, and a greater sense of peace. But how does prayer impact our journey towards God's release? We may find ourselves asking this question in moments of quiet introspection, or during times of spiritual seeking. The answer lies within the very act of prayer itself. Prayer, at its core, is a profound act of communication with the divine. It is a sacred dialogue, a bridge that connects our earthly existence with the celestial realm. When we pray, we are not just sending our requests or expressing gratitude. We are opening ourselves up to the influence of the divine, allowing it to permeate our being and guide our actions. The impact of prayer on our journey towards God's release is manifold. Firstly, it brings us closer to the divine. Through prayer, we align our thoughts, emotions, and actions with the divine will. This alignment is the first step towards God's release, as it clears the path for divine energy to flow through us unimpeded. Secondly, prayer leads to enlightenment. As we communicate with the divine, we gain insights and wisdom that transcend our human understanding. We begin to see the world not just as it appears, but as it truly is, a reflection of the divine. This enlightened perspective brings us closer to God's release, as it enables us to live in harmony with the divine will. Thirdly, prayer brings us peace. In the silence of prayer, we find respite from the noise and hustle of the world. We experience a deep sense of tranquility that calms our spirit and soothes our soul. This peace is a glimpse of God's release, a taste of the serenity that comes with complete surrender to the divine. Lastly, prayer deepens our understanding of our purpose. As we align ourselves with the divine, we begin to understand our role in the grand scheme of things. We realize that we are not just random specks in the universe, but integral parts of the divine plan. This understanding propels us forward on our journey towards God's release. Through prayer, we not only seek God's release but also pave the way for our own spiritual growth. In our journey of spiritual growth and understanding, prayer serves as a powerful tool. As we gather our thoughts, let's revisit the core points we've discussed. Prayer, an intimate conversation with the divine, possesses a transformative power that permeates every aspect of our lives. It acts as a conduit, connecting us to the divine and facilitating a constant flow of divine energy into our lives. This energy, when harnessed through prayer, can trigger God's release, a profound spiritual experience that can alter our perception of reality. We delved into the mysteries and wisdom embedded in ancient scriptures, revealing the significance of prayer and God's release. These texts, passed down through generations, serve as a spiritual compass, guiding us towards the divine. They emphasize the potency of prayer as a key to unlocking God's release, a spiritual awakening that can lead to a deeper understanding of our existence. The process of prayer, as we discovered, is not simply a ritualistic practice, but a deeply personal and transformative journey. It's an act of surrender, an expression of faith, and a testament to our longing for divine communion. This process, when undertaken with sincerity and devotion, can open the doors to God's release, ushering in an era of spiritual enlightenment and inner peace. The impact of prayer on God's release is monumental. It acts as a catalyst, triggering a divine intervention that can release us from the shackles of our earthly limitations. This release, as portrayed in the scriptures, is a divine manifestation of God's grace, a testament to His boundless love for us. In conclusion, prayer is not just a spiritual practice, it's a path to divine liberation. It's a journey towards God's release, a spiritual quest that can lead us to a deeper understanding of our purpose in life. As we embark on our spiritual journey, let prayer be our guide. leading us towards God's release and a deeper understanding of our purpose in life. Thank you for joining us on this spiritual journey. We hope that our exploration of prayer and its transformative power has provided you with new insights and a deeper understanding of your spiritual path. If you found this video helpful and wish to delve deeper into such enlightening content, please give it a like. This simple act of support helps us to continue creating content that can aid you on your spiritual journey. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel so you never miss an opportunity to expand your spiritual horizon. As you embark on your journey towards God's release, remember, each prayer is a step towards divine liberation. May your journey be filled with peace, understanding, and the profound experience of God's release. Until next time, let prayer be your guide, leading you towards a deeper understanding of your purpose in life.